The way football brings society from all walks of life should be lionized. Hello Africa, I'm very excited to connect with you again today on this edition of Managing Africa. Today we're looking at excelling in sports, particularly in football in Africa, and for that we're taking you straight to Lagos, Nigeria to meet with John Samuel. John Samuel is a business consultant and a serial entrepreneur. He is the CEO and founder of AfriPro. What is AfriPro? Watch.
Hi, my name is John, founder and CEO of AfriPro. What is AfriPro? AfriPro is a digital platform that is designed to empower African footballers to create their profile, upload their YouTube videos, transfer marketing, and even their CV to give them the needed digital visibility to be monitored and scouted by top teams across Europe.
The goal of the platform AfriPro is to eradicate the exploitation of African footballers by fake agents. A platform which digitalizes the player acquisition model, thereby putting an end to the exploitation of African footballers who are overly desperate to leave the continent with hopes of playing in European teams at no cost. To test the strength, AfriPro organized a scouting tournament in Nigeria which saw countless of amazing talents on display. Such talents will be replicated across Africa by AfriPro. AfriPro is the initiative of a former footballer and coach, John Samuel, an experienced business development, marketing and sales professional with a demonstrated history of bridging European and African markets. Welcome back, televiewers. Connecting all the way from Lagos, Nigeria is the CEO and founder of AfriPro. I'm talking about John Samuel. It is a pleasure having you on board Managing Africa today, John.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
So tell us, what is your drive? What motivated you to begin AfriPro?
Well, to start with, my background is in football.
Okay.
I started out as a professional footballer, and that was how it began. And then after my football career, I went back to studying again, became a businessman. But I began to look around into the African market, especially in the football space. I noticed a massive gap that has never stopped. In fact, it keeps growing, getting engulfed with the state of things. And that is that most African footballers are exploited. Now, this exploitation comes from the fact that a lot of Africans are desperate to leave the continent to seek greener pastures in Europe or any other country. This comes from the misconception that Africa is poor. No, Africa is not poor. Africa is poorly managed. Africa is too rich to be poor. Exactly. It's just poorly managed. And a lot of people are going through difficulties that they want to leave the country, and because of this mindset of wanting to leave the country at all costs, they fall victims to predatory football agents and scouts, claiming to be scouts, claiming to be agents, just like you are now, our beautiful Nadine. The way you are dressed now, you go to a football field in any African football ground, watching a football game, immediately these African footballers might assume you are a football scout. And then they are willing to give you all their money. They will sell their land, they will go to take loans, they will take they will sell all their properties, they give it to this scouts or this agent, and these agents, they are most cases they disappear with the money. And those ones who are real agents, they tend to exploit these Africans, for example, asking for money for invitation letter, which is usually free, just a piece of paper. They ask this player to pay the money, and then a lot of things happen, and we are living in a digital age, and yet the player acquisition model is still archaic, like backwards in a year. So what I decided to do is I looked into this gap. I looked at what is happening right now in the present world. We are living in a digital age. And why do we still have to go through this process, having our players being exploited? So I created the concept of AfriPro. AfriPro in itself is a digital platform that is designed to empower African footballers to create to create their profile, upload their YouTube link, CV, transfer market link, videos, and giving them the needed digital visibility to be monitored and scouted by top teams across the world. Now, why digital visibility? Because we are living in a digital age, and 98% African footballers are ghosts on the digital space. We do have competitors in the market, don't get me wrong. There are digital platforms, digital football scouting platform. If you go to Google now and type digital scouting platform, you're going to see many. But when you sign up as a coach or a football scout or a football agent or a football administrator that you are looking for a top talent in Africa, you will see 0 to none. Why? Because these platforms are designed for premium agents, premium players, leaving African footballers at the mercy of predatory agents. They are expensive, and African footballers cannot afford it. That is one big problem. And the second problem is that these platforms do not have interest in African talent. Don't get me wrong, they do know African players are very talented. We have one of the best in the world. I mean, in Cameroon, think about Roger Miller, Samuel Eto'o, to name the list. Samuel Eto'o is Samuel Eto'o today because he was able to be in a place where he was seen and known. If Samuel Eto'o does not have that opportunity, we wouldn't do Samuel Eto'o today. Now, what we are saying is we have the capability to produce as many Samuel Eto'o as possible. Rigobert Song, Alex Song, and name it all. They are there in Cameroon, but they don't have the visibility. Nobody knows them.
That's absolutely.
So this is what we are trying to do, basically, with AfriPro.
How do you intend to actually make this come to reality? How? What are some of the projects you're carrying out to ensure that you achieve this vision?
Okay, so AfriPro is like a dating platform. We are like the Tinder of football. So if you are familiar with this dating app called Tinder, so we are like Tinder of football. We match make footballers and football scouts and football clubs. So we are bringing in the key players, the footballers, the football scouts, football agents, football administrators into the platform of AfriPro. So everybody meets there. So when the footballers put all their information there, their data, their YouTube link, their CV, their profile, and the football administrators, the football clubs, the football scouts, whenever they are looking for a player, they just go to our platform, put in the criteria they're looking for. Oh, I'm looking for a striker between the age of 19 and 25. I want a striker who is 6 feet tall, and I want to see a YouTube link, and I want to see a transfer market link, I want to see this and that. They push send, and it gives them all the players that fall into the category. What we are doing basically is we are digitizing the player acquisition model for African footballers. We are saying to clubs that you don't necessarily need to send scouts to Africa, or you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money, because player acquisition for most clubs is very expensive. They need to pay tickets, hotel, feeding, accommodation for this scout to travel around the world to get them the needed players. And the onboarding process entails them using the platform at their own convenience.
Awesome. So what are some of the ongoing projects you have? Recently we saw you on TV talking about a tournament that you're hosting out there in Nigeria, and you also promised that this tournament is going to extend to other African countries in a bit. So do you want to tell us more about that tournament?
So the concept behind organizing this tournament was majorly to create awareness.
Okay.
That is the first thing.
Okay.
And the second thing was enable us to get data. Now, AfriPro methodology is not like our European counterparts and competitors. Our competitor reciprocity is just basically using data, existing data on YouTube, transfer market, and every other thing they can find.
Okay.
However, for African players, they don't have such data. Now, if I mention 5 footballers from 4th or 5th division tier in any European country that you've never heard before, you type their name on Google, you're going to find one or two information about them. But if I mention the best player in Cameroon, Nigeria, Togo, Guinea, Zambia, the best players in the league, and you put their name on Google, you will not see anything.
Oh, wow.
So our own methodology is simple: localize and personalize. This way, we are able to get as many data as possible to build from there. In addition to that, we are also going to be having online forms where they are going to be filling the form, enabling us to get all these data. Now, the tournament itself was to create more of awareness and inclusion program. Now, this tournament, for example, in Nigeria, is geared towards creating awareness for grassroots footballers and amateur level footballers. Now, why these footballers? Because right now, these are the future of African footballers.
Exactly.
Put Nigerian football national team into perspective. Do you know that 98% of the players playing presently or in the last Cup of Nations of the last African Cup of Nations won by Senegal, the Nigerian national team, 98% of them have never played in the Nigerian local league. None.
Wow.
So this is to tell you that the best players are actually on the street. But the problem is they are not privileged to showcase themselves. Nobody gets to know them. And most teams in Europe right now that do come to Africa to pick our best talent, they are picking the best talent from the academy. Africa is organizing this tournament at the moment right now with the aim of finding the best players from the street, best players from academy, best players from the amateur level. Nigeria is a start right now, and it has been nothing but amazing. With this tournament alone for the past 4 days, we have seen amazing, fantastic players that prove what we have been saying, that the best footballers are on the street.
This is actually really amazing. Now, I would like for you to explain how can AfriPro contribute in developing the society?
Well, the development from AfriPro comes from the idea of impact, helping these footballers to be able to achieve their goal, their dream. It is not easy. Everybody wants to play football. Everybody wants to become the next big star.
True.
But do they have what it takes? Having the skill is not enough, but having a full package that entails you meeting your goal is what is most paramount right now. And one of them is digital visibility. Most of these footballers are not familiar with having digital presence. And that is the reason why we have been trying our best to give them that digital visibility. Another thing AfriPro is also doing right now is in the education sector.
Okay.
Now, AfriPro's sister company is called AfriPro Edu. That's AfriPro's sister company. Now, with AfriPro Edu, we are able to provide education scholarship program. Now, we partner with a Finnish company, a Finnish in Finland, because I am based in Finland, although I'm a Nigerian. As you know, Finland has the best education in the world right now. And there are ways we can provide free education to anybody willing to come to study in Finland, but you have to learn the language first. Okay. So we incorporated this same concept for talented players. And what we do basically is when we do this tournament, we are able to get enough video material for players between the ages of 15 and 19. We can be able to create good video material, good marketing structure. We present to football clubs in Finland who will see the benefits of having a young talented player from Africa. They will now invest in the education program for this player that enables this player to move down to Finland to study and play football at the same time.
So we're looking at having more football stars in a couple of years because of AfriPro.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. The project that I have put right now is a 10 years project.
Okay.
And we envisage with a 5 years projection that in 5 years we are able to make a lot of noise, sound it out there that there are top talent from Africa.
That's
That
great.
basically is what we are trying to say. And this will create a lot of awareness. With the help of amazing programs such as Managing Africa, we get a lot of visibility, that gets a lot of investors, that get sponsorship.
Okay.
AfriPro is open to a lot of having experts that will work in the team. Let me begin from the top.
Okay.
So we are open to having investors.
Great. True.
We are open to having sponsorship deals. This sponsorship deals enables, for example, now the players we are going to get in Nigeria for this tournament, they will be going to, 18 of them will be selected out of over 300 players. They will be selected to move down to play tournaments in Turkey, at least in 3 European countries,
Okay.
whereby we are hoping that at least 10 of them get a team that will change them for good, change their life for good, begin their journey to stardom, so that when the time is right, they are coming back home to bring the skills they have gotten from Europe and develop football in their local team or play for Nigeria, same way to their African country. We also have a section for building community of footballers, helping the need. There's going to be times where in each country we will be providing free football kits, football shoes, football jerseys, and all that to as many African players as possible, just to get everybody along. Please don't forget, AfriPro is for both men and women as well. So, boys and girls, AfriPro is for you.
Awesome. Now, this initiative is quite a fascinating one. And looking at this vision and how big it is, it's kind of, I'm curious to ask, are you facing some challenges at the moment? What are some of the challenges you're going through, and how have you been able to mitigate these challenges so far?
Well, the challenges we've had, basically, the biggest challenge we've had basically at the moment right now is boiled around funding. That is one of the biggest challenge. Talking about acceptance, AfriPro is accepted everywhere right now. We've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of emails. Everybody wants, when are you coming to our country? When are you coming to our country? When are you coming to our country? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? Even in Nigeria, that when we started this tournament, a lot of people keep asking, Nigeria is a very big country. There are 36 states in the country, and everybody from different cities, different parts of the country, like, hey, when are you coming to our own state? So
Yeah.
this costs a lot of money.
Just like I'm about to ask when you're coming to Cameroon.
Yeah, most definitely. Cameroon is our next point of call because we are working with a very good and amazing partner already in Cameroon. So we want to use the existing content that we have done, but just modify it to the AfriPro system, that we can be able to replicate the same thing in Cameroon, help as many Cameroonian footballers as possible. The best player in the first game that we played actually right now was a Cameroonian, coincidentally.
Oh, wow.
And even though we have had man of the match in various games, the first game they played, he was the man of the match, and coincidentally is from Cameroon. So the sky is the limit for AfriPro. We do hope that we can get as many African investors, African business owners,
Yes.
corporate bodies from Africa, come support us, contact us. We are open to discuss.
We are coming to the end of this session, but do you have some advice to throw out there to other entrepreneurs who maybe want to be like you and who want to do more? Do you have a word for them?
When it comes to the aspect of giving advice to entrepreneurs, I would say this is the part that I actually really enjoy talking about when it comes to entrepreneurship. Number one, don't wait for everything to be ready before you start. Just start.
Okay.
Perfection is an illusion. There is nothing as perfect, and there is no right time, and there is no perfect time. If you have an idea, go for it.
True.
Don't wait.
Yes.
A lot of people have ideas that they end up living in the regret, and they never try. All you need to do is just try. Number two, when you start out as an entrepreneur, I can guarantee you 99.5% you are going to fail. But the question is this: what do you do after you fail? Now that will define your success. You are going to fail. That is for sure. You are going to face a lot of difficulties. You are going to face a lot of challenges. You are going to face a lot of hardship. Now, how you react to this defines your success. And you need to always remind yourself, why did you start to begin with? Number three, your success is determined by the people you surround yourself with. Your environment plays a pivotal key role to your success.
So, John, I think on a personal note, AfriPro is an amazing initiative. And I am particularly interested in this project because I've had a couple of footballers come to me for me to manage them. And that has been a difficult one for me because I have not really had the experience in that. But there are so many of them out there who really need the services of AfriPro. So you shouldn't relent your effort. Keep going, okay? Now, we're coming to the end of this edition of Managing Africa. Do you have any last words you want to throw around to our audience?
I want to say a very big thank you first to Managing Africa for this. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you very much to you guys for giving me this platform to be able to discuss AfriPro. And to the fans that are watching, please follow us on AfriPro, on Instagram page afripro.afripro. We are also on Facebook and on Twitter, afri_pro. You can also find us on the website www.afri.pro. And again, please promote us, talk about us, share our videos, tag your friends. We need to go viral, not for us, but for Africa. Let's do this for Africa because this is our pride. AfriPro is pride of Africa, for Africans, and by Africans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure having you on board Managing Africa. So you have a lovely day over there in Nigeria, and we'll talk to you another time, yes? That has been it for this edition of Managing Africa. As you know, Saturdays, 6 p.m., we are always right there for you on Dash TV News. Continue watching the program and don't forget to stay safe because COVID-19 is still out there. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.